What's going on, everybody? Mike here with Tri-Delta. Welcome back to the channel. For today's office, we're out here in Delta Township, and this 35-year-old unit is about to get replaced. So stay tuned. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pump this system down. We've got a recycling center in town that will actually take the scrap metal. They will pull the refrigerant out of it, and then I don't have to worry about it in any way, shape, or form, so that's great. Yeah, she's definitely low on refrigerant, and that's why we're changing it. Alright, we ended up with negative 6.9, pumping it down. Couldn't really ask for anything better than that. It'll be okay for us to cut the line now. Lord, that wasn't even glued. Somebody siliconed it in place. Could have killed these people. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this one's siliconed as well. Yep. Now this is the fresh air or combustion air intake. This one doesn't need to be glued according to code, but this one most certainly needed to be glued. like a glove. Let me bring you guys up to speed. So This was a pretty piss poor installation on the furnace. Our furnace is out of level, which is causing my evaporator coil to be out of level, which affects the drain a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit. I want to drain out of this corner on the cased coil. Everything else will be plugged. As of right now, my unit's sloping this way. I tried to level it up as much as possible on this side. As you can see, not looking real good. I'm gonna have to figure that out because it's a good 1/4 of an inch off, and it all stems from the way that this furnace was installed out of level from the start. Alright, we're gonna keep plugging away. Okay, we are much better off than what it was before. I ended up having to raise this side. I will silicone all the way around the bottom to stop any kind of airflow coming through. My main concern for this thing being level is I do want it to drain properly. I'm pretty lucky that this is thin metal. It seems lighter than 30 gauge. Okay, so for our transition, I think we're gonna go with 16.5 by 20. These evaporator coils never change. We're going to transition to 15.5 by 19.5, and we are going to go 4.5 tall. In this particular instance, I am going to go straight back. We're going to be centered right and left. I'm going to have a patch built for the front, and I'm going with a 3/8 single out by raw notched. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to reuse the line set. I'm going to cut it somewhere in this area, and we're going to braze it up. And then, well, first of all, I'm going to clean the line set out with the Helmore line set cleaner that we've got. We are going to replace the disconnect as well. Let's go ahead and get that line cleaned up before I cut it. For those of you guys who haven't seen this before, this is the net that comes with the Helmore line set cleaner. It's designed to catch the pigs so that it doesn't go flying across the yard. In this case, it would hit the unit and bounce off. Who knows if I'd ever find it, but the net will catch it. pressure that I seem to think works the best for this tool, at least for me, is 350 psi. We'll load our second pig, build up enough nitrogen, and fire. I feel like I'm in a torpedo room of a submarine. That's what it sounds like too. We'll give it another quick spray, push any oil that we might have in the line out, and then we should be good to go. Well, I was completely wrong. The bag did not withstand the pressure, but it did catch both pigs. Now, how am I going to level you? I'm in trouble. Don't know if I'm going to have enough space for this 36 by 36 pad. Some sort of doggy do right here. Get that crap out of my way. God only knows what's living under here. What the hell? I think we're looking pretty good here. No, we're high on that end. Still high on this end. I like that. I don't like that. I like that. And I don't like that. That's pretty good, but it's not perfect, and I don't know if I'm going to get perfect on rock. That's my only problem. I don't think I'm going to get perfect on rock. And first things first, I need to change out that disconnect. Then I'll bring the unit up. We'll go from there. Alright, first things first, let's make sure we don't have any power before I get bolted. I don't like being electrocuted. We've got nothing, okay. Alright guys, I want to talk to you about this M12 brushless impact driver I have here. My normal everyday carry is the DeWalt 887. I was able to pick this up along with a Milwaukee hammer drill. Basically I got the kit, 2 batteries for $100. It's never been used. I wanted to give it a shot and see what it was actually like. I wanted to basically run it through its paces, see what's up with what, and so far so good. I don't find that it fits my hand all that great. I tend to keep my index finger up here and I pull the trigger with my second finger. I had to file out the clip holder in order for it to not dig into my finger. I tried to drive in some, not really lag screws, but some screws into some what was it, a 2x10 by 12 piece of wood, and it just died on me. So the difference between an M12 and a 20 volt DeWalt, the DeWalt wins out. But for service and for some of this minor stuff, this might come in pretty handy. I'm not 100% sure if I love it yet, but I'm gonna keep plugging away on it. Let's see if I like it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. Okay, that's that. Alright, let's go ahead and give this M12 a little test. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now I like to loop the ground wire. I like to maintain its length in the event that we ever need to change this out in the future and we don't necessarily go with the Diversitech. I would like to have the length in case we need to stretch it out. Alright guys, well if you've seen me do this once, you've seen me do it 1,000 times. That's why I'm not showing you guys the process of connecting this disconnect. But what I will talk about is the cameras that I use. What you are watching is the Insta360 Go 3S, and what I will tell you about this camera, it is very, very small. It is very, very handy. I use it on a hat clip. It is pretty versatile. Here's the downside. It overheats constantly. Its battery life is horrendous. And the reason why I have so many transitions in our videos is because I feel like due to the overheating, I can only shoot 3 minutes at a time, if that. And then I have to shut it down, you know, let it cool down, and then keep going. Now the other camera I use is the DJI Action 5 Pro, I guess. Call it a Pro. I have not had this unit very long. We're just now getting into using it every so often on our installs. It's nice to have a little bit of a different perspective, especially like when we're brazing or doing anything, you know, just different perspective. That being said, I don't really have any kind of review for this other than to say that I'm still trying it out, and eventually I'll talk about it in more in depth. So I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I've ever used a tube bender for line set. I am old school, so generally speaking, I have been for the past 20 years bending the line set by hand. Most of the time it turns out pretty good. Most of my 90s are not really 90s, more like swoops. So we're gonna give this tube bender a shot. We're gonna see how it works. So far so good. It's pretty easy. Let's take a look. Oh, that's pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. That's really nice. Wow, okay. I should have invested in you a long time ago. We are on braze. So front to back, we're looking pretty good. Same thing front to back. Right to left, not so good. So we still are big time elevated on this side. I will prop the unit up itself. I can't do much. I can't do anything else with the base. That's a shame though. Okay, in case I didn't say it already, I really need this thing to be serviceable. So I made the decision to put the ports towards the open side so that it can be serviced in the future. I do think I'm going to have enough on the right and the left and the back in order to clean the coil when needed. But I really think that having it in the front, it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but having it in the front is going to be better for anything moving forward. I'm still debating, to be honest with you. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm definitely going to turn it to the front so that the unit is serviceable. But let me know what you guys think. I could put it in the corner, but it's really too late for me. I want this thing to be serviceable. I don't know what to do. I am 90-10 right now. At 10% is pretty strong though. I'm usually 100% on my decisions. So if you guys think I made a mistake, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But I'm gonna go with it in the front. Cannot buy a break with him. Now, as you can see here, I asked for 16.5 by 20, and I am sitting at 16. That half an inch is really going to come into play when I'm trying to put this over the top of our evaporator coil. So we're going to have this remade. I don't know how long it'll take them to do it, but these are the types of setbacks that really throw me into a loop. I mean, personally, it just irritates me. Alright, we're down to 400 microns. I've got a couple of things I need to do inside, so I'll check back with you in a little bit. Alright, looks like we're down to 286. We're going to let it keep going. I am going to wire in this federally mandated RDS system. In case you guys don't know what that is a leak safety device that the federal government mandated that all manufacturers must connect to the evaporator coil. It is designed to shut the system off and to spin up the blower in the event that it detects any kind of a leak. So essentially how it works is it breaks the common or breaks the 24 volts, however you decide to hook it up. But essentially the two orange wires are for Ruud communicating systems. The black wire energizes ECM motor. The red wire is power in, the brown wire is common, and then this is what breaks shuts the air conditioner down in the event of a leak. Alright guys, looks like we are at about 145 microns. I've let this thing pull down for about, if I had to say, I guess about an hour. We're about to isolate. We're going to check it out for the next 10 minutes. It is 2:24 p.m. Let me do screen grab. Okay, let's isolate. Alright, it's been 13 minutes and looks like we've stabilized right around 178 on the micron gauge. So I'm going to call this good. I'm about to release the refrigerant. Let's get this puppy started up. Alright guys, we are on a RA13NY30. We are approximately 86 degrees. We're looking for a subcooling of 9. And the pressures, those are just rules of thumb, but we should probably be somewhere in the low 300, 131 on the suction side, probably 320 on the head pressure. But what's more important is we're looking for that subcooling of 9. Alright guys, I certainly do apologize for the abrupt ending to the video. It's only fitting for this install that the camera would actually overheat once again. That being said, we were able to achieve a 9.2 on our subcooling. Our target was 9.0. We were able to get a 16.9 temperature differential. That's acceptable. I would prefer 20, but sometimes we just can't get there. Regarding our setbacks, the major one was the ductwork. I've already covered that a little bit in the video. The good news is that I've communicated with the company that does manufacture our transitions, and we've agreed to communicate better in the future regarding my orders. So that's good news. My Indecision, unfortunately, delayed me about 45 minutes to an hour. I went back and forth on whether or not I should turn the unit for servicing or turn it for aesthetics. I spoke with the homeowner. The homeowner indicated to me that they don't care one way or the other, that they wanted me to make the decision. So in the end, I elected to go with servicing, and I only had 1 foot on each side of the unit, both right and left and back. I can get the evaporator, I'm sorry, not the evaporator, I can get the condenser coil cleaned pretty easily, but servicing the unit would be, I'd have to lay on top of it in order to service it properly. There's just no room for really anything. But I hemmed and hawed about that. I really prefer to have a good looking aesthetic unit. These people pay a lot of money for this stuff, so I want it to look the best that I can possibly make it look. My disappointments in the install, or basically my performance on the install, is when I decided to turn the service compartment forward, the 4-foot whip was basically stretched to its max, and that just adds to it not being aesthetically pleasing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to install a 6-foot whip, which will give us the ability to connect it to the line set, make it look a little better. The other thing that I'm going to do is I need to lift the front left corner and get that thing more level. It dips down about 1/4 of a bubble, and that is just unacceptable to me. I'm kind of meticulous as far as that's concerned. So anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you for watching. I certainly do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys out on the next one. Thank you.